Chapter 6. Time Management. One of the most important subjects for achieving goals, or for any kind of success in life, is time management. Here's the basic rule. Time management is life management. It's really management of yourself. As business guru Peter Drucker said, you can't manage time, you can only manage yourself. The most successful people are the ones who manage themselves the best. The quality of your time management determines the quality of your life. I used to think that time management was a peripheral subject. I thought I was the sun, and time management was one of the planets that orbited around my life. The turning point came when I realized that time management is the sun, and everything else in life is a planet that goes around it. If you have your time completely under control, every other part of your life falls into alignment. Time management is a choice. The good news is that time management is a skill that can be learned and must be learned. Some say, I'm not very good at time management. I'm not very punctual. I have too much to do or too little time. This is a choice you make. Sometimes I joke with my audience. I say, I've developed a method to teach people time management in just 20 seconds. I can make everybody here a brilliant time manager in just 20 seconds. Do you want to see my method? They say, yes. I reach into my pocket as if I'm pulling out a pistol and put it next to the head of a person in the front row. I say, all right, I'm going to follow you around for the next 24 hours. If you waste a single second, I'm going to blow your brains out. Under those circumstances, would you be a good time manager? You bet you would. The point is that time management is a choice. You choose to manage your time well. If you have to catch a plane, and that plane is really important, you organize every part of your life so that you are there in advance, ready to catch the plane. You choose to be a good time manager. Once you understand that, you realize it's not genetic. It's not the way you were brought up. It's not the way you were as a kid. It's simply a decision that you make. Your present situation in life is simple. First of all, you have too much to do and too little time. No matter how much you get done, you have even more to get done. Your workload and responsibilities continue to increase. This is a normal and natural fact of being an adult. Here's the insight. You will never get caught up. Everybody has the idea that somehow they're going to find a technique or a method that will enable them to catch up. No, you'll never catch up. The only way to manage your time is to stop doing certain things. Goals are the starting point of time management. They are the big picture. You stand back and you say, what are my real goals in life? What do I really want to accomplish? Because an enormous amount of our time is spent doing things that are irrelevant to our real goals. Double your productivity. How do you double your productivity? Here are 5 steps. Number 1, make a list of everything you have to do each day. Write this list out the night before and never work without a list. According to time management specialists, a list will increase your productivity by 25% the first time you use it. If your productivity, performance, and output increase by 25% per year, you will double them every 2 years and 8 months. If you double your productivity and output, you will double your results. If you double your results, you'll double your income. Simply by working from a list, increasing your productivity by 25% from the first day, you can double your income every 2 years and 8 months, and then double it again and again. Number 2, apply the 80-20 rule to your list before you begin. One of the most important words in time management is consequences. Something that has high consequences has high value. Something that has low consequences has low value. Number 3, once you've made a list and you've used the 80-20 rule and applied it to your list, use the ABCDE method. An A stands for something that you must do. It has serious consequences if you do it or don't do it. A B activity on your list is something that you should do. It has mild consequences. It might be making a phone call or checking in with somebody in the office. A C activity is nice to do, but has no consequences at all. Drinking a cup of coffee, reading the paper, surfing the internet. Here's the rule. Never do a B or C task when you have an A task left undone. The 4th letter in the ABCDE method is D, which stands for delegate. Delegate everything you can to anyone else who can possibly do it in order to free up more time for your A tasks. The final letter, E, stands for eliminate. Eliminate all activities that have low or no value. You do many things during the course of the day that, if you never did them at all, would make no difference. The more tasks you delegate and eliminate, the more time you have to do the things that make the difference in your life. Number 4, ask 4 questions continually. The first is, why am I on the payroll? What have you been hired to do? If you were to go to your boss and ask this question, what specifically would your boss say? I can guarantee you that they would not tell you that you're on the payroll to get along well with your coworkers, surf the internet, read the paper, or drink coffee. You're on the payroll to get specific results for which the company can pay you. These contribute to the results that your company has to achieve in order to survive and thrive in a competitive marketplace. The second question you ask is, what are my highest value activities? Of all the things you do, which ones are more valuable than anything else? The third question is, what can I and only I do which, done well, will make a real difference? In your work, there are certain things that only you can do. If you don't, nobody else will do them, and they won't get done. But if you do them, and do them promptly and well, you can make a major difference in your life. The answer to this question, by the way, changes with changing priorities and activities. Nonetheless, keep asking every minute, what can I and only I do which, done well, will make a real difference? Finally, keep asking, what is the most valuable use of my time right now? All time management books come down answering that one question. What is the most valuable use of my time right now? Whatever it is, make sure that that's what you're doing every minute of every day. Number 5. The fifth key to doubling your productivity is to concentrate single-mindedly on one thing, the most important thing, and stay at it until it's 100% complete. Single-minded focus on your most important tasks saves as much as 80% of the time required. Concentrated, focused work on a single task is a source of energy, enthusiasm, and increased self-esteem. Closure and completion, getting a task finished, raises your self-esteem and motivates you to do even more. I write and produce 4 books a year. Professional writers are fortunate if they write or produce 1 book in 2 or 3 years. People ask, how can you write so many books? I focus and concentrate. When I sit down to write a book, I go through a series of steps. I concentrate single-mindedly on 100% completion of each step before I go on to the next. That's true for everything else I do, and it's astonishing how much you increase your productivity when you concentrate single-mindedly. Creative procrastination. Do you procrastinate? The answer is yes. Everybody procrastinates. Unproductive people procrastinate, but so do highly productive people. The difference is that top people use creative procrastination. They procrastinate on things of low value, with no consequences. Unproductive people procrastinate on things of high value that can make a big difference in their lives. Here are 10 ways to overcome procrastination. Number 1. Set clear written goals and make written plans of action. The very act of writing things down often motivates you to get started. Once you do, like a rock rolling down a hill, you get going and you keep going. Number 2, break your goals down into bite-sized activities. You know the old question, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. If you can take a big goal and break it down into many tiny tasks, you can start by doing just one little task. Number 3, look at what you have to do in the course of the day. Select one single activity and start on it immediately. Just motivate yourself to say, I do this now, I do this now. Starting immediately on one task will often break the mental logjam. Number 4, Swiss cheese your tasks. Imagine a Swiss cheese with holes. Punch a hole in a task by selecting a small part of a big job and doing only that. Sometimes just taking one small piece of the task is enough to get you started. 5, salami slice a major job. Break a major job into a series of small slices and do one piece of the job to get started. Number 6. Another way to overcome procrastination is to 20-80 the task. Sometimes the first 20% of the time that you spend planning, organizing, and laying things out is worth 80% of the whole job. You get everything organized, in place, planned, all your lists made. Sometimes that propels you into completing the job. Number 7. Set a time limit. Work on a major task for 15 minutes. Say, I can't do this whole job because it takes many hours. I will work on this for 15 minutes, then I'll do something else and come back to it later. Sometimes just working on a task for 15 minutes gets you into a rhythm, and you don't want to stop. Number 8. Set up a reward structure. Give yourself a reward for completing part of a job. One activity in sales is prospecting. You have to pick up the phone and call people to arrange for appointments. Some salespeople will set up a plate of cookies, broken up into small pieces, right in front of them, and they'll say, I will give myself a bite of cookie each time I contact the prospect. I'll give myself a coffee break after I've made 10 appointments. Instead of worrying about the appointments, they train themselves to focus on the rewards, and they overcome their fear and their tendency to procrastinate in prospecting. Number 9, make a promise to someone else. Tell them you will complete a task by a certain time. It's amazing how motivated you are to get something done when you want to keep your word. Number 10, look at your list and imagine that you are going to be called out of town for a month. You can only do one thing on the list before you leave. Which will it be? Whatever it is, motivate yourself. Drive yourself into completing that one most important task. Usually, this will propel you into completing every other task on your list as a result. Getting more done in a day. Here are 7 steps to getting more done during the day. Number 1, work faster. Pick up the pace. Work at a higher tempo. A fast tempo is essential to success. Pick up your speed of walking, pick up your speed of working, move quickly. Get on with it instead of dragging things out. Number 2, work harder. Work longer hours. Start a little earlier, work a little harder, and stay a little later. Successful people work longer hours. They work productively during those longer hours, and they get vastly more done than the average person. I was recently reading about a woman who used to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, exercise, start work at 6, work for 3 solid hours, and have all her day's work done. She would work full-time without wasting any time. She would get all of the next day's work done as well. In time, this woman was doing the equivalent of 3 days of work every single day, simply by working longer hours. She kept being promoted and paid more until she was a senior executive and one of the highest paid people in her company, simply because she worked longer and harder hours. Number 3, work together. Work with others on big tasks. Sometimes if you develop a production line rhythm or a delegation structure, you can do a certain task while someone else does another. You might be amazed at how much more you can get done. Number 4, simplify the work. Eliminate steps so that you can get more done faster. Consolidate or condense the work. Get on with it and get it done quickly. The simpler the work and the fewer the steps, the more you get done and faster. Number 5, do things that you're better at. When you do things that you're better at, you make fewer mistakes, which means you get more things done in a shorter period of time. For example, when I started off my career, I became a copywriter for a major advertising agency. I read book after book on writing copy and spent hours and hours writing advertising and promotional copy. Today in my company, when somebody needs a piece of copy for a brochure, a product, or a program, they send it on to me. I can whip out a piece of good copy in a few minutes. Someone else who is not a copywriter might work on it for hours and still wouldn't read right. I've ended up writing thousands of words of copy, much of which is, I'm happy to say, very good because I'm very good at it. What are you very good at? What can you do in a short time with few mistakes? Number 6, bunch your tasks. Do a number of similar tasks at the same time. Use the learning curve. If you're going to write a series of proposals, do several at once. By the time you get to the 5th or 6th proposal, you are down to 20% of the amount of time it took you to do the first. If you're prospecting, by the time you do the 10th call, it's taken you about 20% of the time it took you to do the first call. When you bunch your tasks and do similar tasks together, you get faster and better at each one of them. You also save an enormous amount of time with an equal or higher level of quality. Number 7, get better at your key tasks. Practice the CANEI formula, which stands for continuous and never-ending improvement. One of the best time management skills ever developed is to get better at the most important things you do. The better you get, the more you get done. Becoming excellent at what you do doesn't save you a few minutes or a few hours. It can save you years of hard work in getting to the same level of income. All of these and other business skills are learnable. You can learn any skill you need in order to achieve any goal you can set for yourself. You can learn to be a superb time manager. 1 year from now, you can be so efficient and effective that television crews will be following you around because you're so good at what you do. You could be only one time management skill away from doubling your income. You probably know what it is. Time management is really life management. It's management of yourself. It is the ability to choose the sequence of events, to choose what you do first, what you do second, and what you do not at all. And you are always free to choose.